Are you truly mature? How does maturity manifest in your actions, thoughts, and relationships? These are deep questions, and the answers might surprise you. Maturity is not just a matter of age. It is a rich and multifaceted experience. It's about how you handle challenges, how you relate to others, and most importantly, how well you know yourself. This book is an opportunity for you to reflect, question, and above all, grow. As you dive into the following pages, prepare for an awakening. You will be challenged to look deeply within yourself, to confront truths you may have avoided, and to celebrate your victories. Each chapter is a door to a new understanding, a new layer of self-awareness, and a new level of maturity. Think about all the moments you've wondered, am I handling this the best way? Or why do I keep making the same mistakes? This book doesn't offer easy answers, but it provides powerful tools and reflections that will help you find your own answers. It is a map for your journey of self-discovery, a path that will lead you to a more fulfilling, balanced, and rewarding life. Are you ready to embark on this adventure? To challenge yourself, to get to know yourself, and to grow like never before? Prepare to explore the deepest corners of your mind and heart. This is your moment. The journey to full and authentic maturity begins now. Let's start this journey together. Let's explore who you really are and discover the incredible potential that resides within you. Each page is a step closer to a more mature, conscious, and powerful version of yourself. Are you ready? Then let's go. Defining maturity. Maturity is a broad and multifaceted concept that goes far beyond chronological age. Often, we associate maturity with life experience, but it is deeply rooted in how we respond to situations, how we relate to others, and how we manage our own emotions and responsibilities. It is about balance, self-control, and the ability to see beyond immediate needs to consider long-term consequences. Think of it as a robust tree that, over the years, develops deep roots. These roots represent self-knowledge and self-reflection. A mature person knows themselves, their strengths, weaknesses, passions, and fears. This level of self-awareness doesn't emerge overnight but is cultivated through experiences, both positive and negative, that challenge and shape our character. Psychological science offers us a lens to better understand this phenomenon. According to Erik Erikson, a pioneer in human development theory, maturity involves the ability to handle crises and challenges effectively and healthily. For him, achieving maturity means successfully resolving a series of psychic conflicts throughout life. This includes developing a stable identity during adolescence and learning to create and maintain intimate relationships in adulthood. Another fundamental aspect of maturity is responsibility. A mature person not only recognizes their responsibilities, but also acts according to them. This involves making conscious decisions, often putting collective or long-term interests ahead of immediate gratifications. It is knowing that our actions impact not only our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Emotional maturity, in turn, is the ability to manage one's own emotions and react appropriately to the emotions of others. Daniel Goleman, known for his work on emotional intelligence, highlights that emotional maturity is crucial for mental health and the building of healthy relationships. It is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions in a way that relieves stress, communicates effectively, empathizes with others, and overcomes challenges. In everyday life, it reveals itself in simple yet significant attitudes: apologizing when you're wrong, acknowledging when you don't know something, being honest with yourself and others, and demonstrating empathy. It's the ability to listen more than speak, to consider different perspectives, and to adapt to new circumstances with grace and resilience. A mature person is like an anchor in the midst of a storm, steady, reliable, and balanced. This doesn't mean they don't feel fear, sadness, or anger, but that they can navigate these emotions without being overwhelmed by them. They learn from the past, live the present consciously, and plan the future wisely. Maturity is about accepting that we will never be perfect, but that we can always strive to be better. And in this process, we become not only wiser, but also more compassionate, both with others and ourselves. Purpose of the book. The purpose of this book is to serve as a mirror, reflecting your attitudes, behaviors, and levels of emotional, social, and psychological maturity. We want you, as you go through these pages, to see yourself honestly and deeply, recognizing areas for growth and celebrating your achievements. The pursuit of maturity is a continuous and complex journey that requires courage, self-awareness, and a constant willingness to learn and transform. Through a scientifically based approach, our goal is to provide valuable insights that are both theoretical and practical. Modern psychology, with its various branches and empirical studies, gives us powerful tools to understand human behavior. By integrating this knowledge with practical examples and personal reflections, we hope to create a reading experience that not only informs but also inspires and motivates you to develop yourself. This book is also an invitation to introspection and self-assessment. Each chapter will bring questions and exercises that challenge you to reflect on your own experiences, attitudes, and behaviors. We want you to question your automatic reactions, examine your motivations, and discover the roots of your actions. This self-analysis is crucial for anyone who wants to become more mature, as it allows us to identify negative patterns and replace them with more constructive behaviors. We will address the importance of personal and social responsibility. Being mature means understanding the impact of our actions not only on ourselves but also on those around us and society as a whole. We will discuss how making conscious and responsible decisions can transform your life and contribute to a better world. Our ultimate goal is to empower you to become the best version of yourself. By developing your maturity, you will be better prepared to face life's challenges with resilience and wisdom. You will be able to build healthier and more meaningful relationships, make more assertive decisions, and live a more satisfying life. We hope this book becomes a faithful companion on your journey of personal growth. May it inspire you to look within yourself with courage and compassion, to embrace your imperfections, and to celebrate your strengths. Maturity is a journey of self-discovery and improvement. And it is on this journey that we want to accompany you, offering guidance, inspiration, and above all, a perspective that will help you grow in a full and meaningful way. Chapter 1. Self-knowledge. The importance of self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is the key to a more conscious, balanced, and authentic life. It allows us to understand who we are at our core, revealing our values, beliefs, motivations, and emotions. By knowing ourselves deeply, we can navigate life's complexities with more clarity and purpose, making us more resilient and capable of facing challenges with serenity. Psychology shows us that self-knowledge is fundamental for personal and emotional development. Carl Jung, a pioneer of analytical psychology, argued that individuation, the process of becoming aware of oneself, is essential to achieving wholeness as a human being. According to Jung, self-knowledge helps us integrate the conscious and unconscious parts of our mind, allowing for a more harmonious and balanced life. When we know ourselves, we can identify our strengths and weaknesses. This recognition is vital for personal growth, as it allows us to work consciously on improving our weaknesses and maximizing our strengths. Constant self-evaluation, based on a deep understanding of ourselves, provides the opportunity for continuous evolution. Furthermore, by understanding our limits, we can set realistic and achievable goals, avoiding frustration and promoting a sense of accomplishment. Daniel Goleman, in his work on emotional intelligence, highlights that self-awareness is the first component of this skill. Being self-aware means being in tune with our emotions, recognizing how they affect our thoughts and behaviors, and understanding how our reactions influence our relationships with others. When we have a deep understanding of our emotions, we can manage them more effectively, responding to life's events with balance and wisdom instead of reacting impulsively. By understanding our own needs and desires, we can communicate more clearly and assertively. This not only strengthens our relationships, but also helps us avoid unnecessary conflicts. We know what we want and can express it healthily, respecting both ourselves and others. Moreover, self-knowledge protects us from conformity and the negative influence of external patterns. When we are secure in who we are less susceptible to social pressures and more capable of making decisions aligned with our values and personal goals. This authenticity guides us to a life where our actions reflect our true intentions and desires. In the professional world, self-knowledge is equally valuable. Knowing our talents and passions helps us choose careers that bring us satisfaction and fulfillment. Additionally, by being aware of our areas for improvement, we can seek continuous development and adapt to the ever-changing demands of the job market. Achieving self-knowledge involves introspection, reflection, and often the willingness to face uncomfortable truths about ourselves. However, the benefits are immeasurable. By truly knowing ourselves, we gain the freedom to live by our own rules instead of being shaped by external expectations. This freedom is the foundation for a full and authentic life, where we can flourish as complete and fulfilled individuals. I invite you to embark on this journey with courage and curiosity. Let each discovery about yourself be a cornerstone in building a more conscious and meaningful life. After all, knowing yourself is the first step to transforming not only your life but also the world. Reflection questions. Reflecting on oneself is one of the most powerful and transformative acts we can undertake. The right questions have the power to open windows to our soul, revealing deep insights into our desires, fears, behaviors, and patterns. Through introspection, we begin to understand who we truly are and what motivates us. First, ask yourself, how do I react under pressure? This question, simple at first glance, touches on the depths of our emotional behavior. Psychological studies like those by Daniel Goleman on emotional intelligence show that our response to stress is a vital indicator of our emotional maturity. Reflecting on your reactions in tense moments can reveal much about your emotional management and resilience. Another fundamental question is, what are my strengths and weaknesses in terms of maturity? To answer this, you must have a clear understanding of what constitutes maturity. As discussed earlier, maturity involves responsibility, self-control, empathy, and adaptability. Honestly evaluate where you excel and where there might be room for improvement. This honest self-assessment can be a powerful first step towards growth. Consider also the question, how do I handle criticism and feedback? Our ability to receive and process feedback is crucial for personal and professional development. Research shows that mature individuals tend to view feedback as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat. By reflecting on your reactions to criticism, you can discover whether you are open to continuous learning or tend to be defensive. Another introspective question is, am I taking responsibility for my actions? This aspect of reflection is rooted in the theory of personal responsibility, which suggests that accepting responsibility is fundamental to maturity and personal success. By reflecting on your past actions, ask yourself if you have been responsible and honest with yourself and others. This practice of self-evaluation can lead to a greater sense of integrity and authenticity. Are my relationships healthy and balanced? This question that touches on our social and emotional skills. The quality of our relationships is a direct reflection of our emotional state and maturity. Studies show that healthy relationships are associated with greater satisfaction and well-being. Reflecting on your relationships can help identify patterns that need adjustment to promote healthier and more satisfying interactions. Finally, ask yourself, am I living according to my values? This question goes to the core of authenticity. Living according to our personal values is a crucial component of maturity. Positive psychology, a field that focuses on the study of human strengths and virtues, emphasizes the importance of aligning our actions with our values to achieve a full and meaningful life. By reflecting on this question, you can discover whether your daily actions are in harmony with what you consider important or if there are discrepancies that need to be addressed. These reflection questions are not just intellectual exercises. They are invitations to a deep and transformative journey of self-knowledge. By answering each one with honesty and openness, you begin to unravel layers of your identity, allowing for a clearer understanding of yourself. This process of introspection is an essential step for personal growth and the construction of a more authentic, balanced, and satisfying life. It is a practice that requires courage, but the insights you gain will be worth every moment of reflection. Remember, with each answer, you come a little closer to the more mature and fulfilled version of yourself. And that is a journey worth taking. Practical exercises. To aid in this process, practical exercises are valuable tools that allow us to apply psychological theories to everyday life. These scientifically based exercises are designed to foster deep reflection and promote personal growth effectively. Let's explore some practices that can transform your perception of yourself and boost your emotional development. We'll start with reflective journaling. Writing about your experiences, thoughts, and emotions is a practice that has been widely studied and recognized for its effectiveness in promoting self-knowledge and mental health. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on the events and your reactions. Ask yourself, how did I feel today? What were the most challenging moments? How did I handle them? What did I learn about myself? Studies show that reflective writing can help organize thoughts, reduce stress, and increase self-awareness. Another powerful exercise is the practice of mindfulness meditation. Meditation, especially mindfulness, has been extensively researched and demonstrated as an effective tool for improving mindfulness and emotional regulation. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. Observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing them to come and go like clouds in the sky. Regular mindfulness practice can increase self-awareness and the ability to respond to situations more calmly and deliberately. Visualization techniques can also be extremely helpful. Close your eyes and visualize yourself successfully facing a current challenge. Imagine every detail, from your emotions to your actions. Neuroscience studies suggest that visualization can help reinforce positive behavior patterns, preparing your brain to handle real-life situations more effectively. This practice can boost your confidence and resilience, allowing you to approach challenges with a more positive and proactive mindset. Active feedback exercise is another essential practice. Ask for honest feedback from trusted individuals about your attitudes and behaviors. When receiving this feedback, practice active listening, absorbing what is said without interrupting or defending yourself. Reflecting on this feedback can provide valuable perspectives you might not have considered before. This exercise not only promotes self-knowledge but also strengthens your communication and empathy skills. Role-playing is a practical tool for improving conflict resolution skills. Identify a recent or potential conflict situation and, with a trusted partner, enact different ways of dealing with it. This practice allows you to explore various approaches and refine your communication and problem-solving skills in a safe environment. Studies show that role-playing can increase confidence and effectiveness in managing real conflicts. Finally, practicing SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goal setting is fundamental for personal development. Set clear and specific goals for areas of your life you wish to improve. For example, if you want to be more patient, set a goal to practice patience in at least 3 difficult situations per week. Studies show that well-defined and structured goals can increase motivation and the likelihood of success, promoting a sense of accomplishment and continuous progress. Each of these exercises is designed to be a practical tool you can incorporate into your daily life. They are based on scientific research and psychological theories that prove their effectiveness in developing self-knowledge and emotional maturity. By practicing them regularly, you will cultivate a greater understanding of yourself and enhance your emotional and social skills. This journey of self-discovery and growth is not linear and will require patience and perseverance. However, by committing to these practical exercises, you will be taking significant steps toward a more conscious and fulfilling life. Chapter 2. Responsibility. What does it mean to be responsible? Being responsible is one of the fundamental pillars of maturity and personal development. Responsibility goes beyond completing tasks and obligations. It is intrinsically linked to recognizing our actions and their consequences, both for ourselves and for those around us. Responsibility is the ability to respond to our choices with integrity, taking ownership of our actions and their repercussions. It starts with self-awareness. Psychologists like Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow emphasize the importance of self-knowledge in the process of taking responsibility. To be truly responsible, it is essential that we first understand our motivations, emotions, and the factors that influence our decisions. When we are aware of who we are and why we act, we are better positioned to act congruently with our values and principles. This implies admitting mistakes and learning from them. Instead of seeking to blame external circumstances or other people, responsibility requires us to look inward and acknowledge our failures. This process of self-evaluation is not easy, but it is vital for growth. Developmental psychology studies, such as those by Erik Erikson, show that the ability to recognize and correct our mistakes is an indicator of maturity and emotional health. When we admit our mistakes, we open the door to learning and continuous improvement. Responsibility is also deeply connected with ethics and morality. Philosophers and psychologists like Lawrence Kohlberg suggest that our sense of moral responsibility evolves through different stages of development. In the more advanced stages, responsibility is not just about following rules or avoiding punishment, but about understanding and internalizing universal ethical principles. This level of moral responsibility guides us to act fairly and compassionately, even when there is no supervision or immediate consequences. In interpersonal relationships, being responsible means being reliable and consistent. When we make promises, we commit to keeping them, knowing that our word has weight and impact. Trust is built and maintained through responsibility. If we fail in our promises, we acknowledge the failure and do our best to remedy it. This commitment to honesty and reparation strengthens our bonds and promotes healthier, more balanced relationships. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with distractions and demands, being responsible requires discipline and organization. Effective time management allows us to prioritize tasks and responsibilities, ensuring we focus on what truly matters. Productivity studies show that the ability to manage time well correlates with higher levels of achievement and personal satisfaction. Responsibility is also an act of care for oneself and others. When we are responsible for our physical and mental health, we invest in our long-term well-being. This includes making healthy choices, seeking support when necessary, and maintaining a work-life balance. By taking care of ourselves, we are better prepared to care for others and contribute positively to our communities. Being responsible means being committed to continuous development. Learning does not end in school. It is a lifelong journey. By taking responsibility for our personal and professional growth, we constantly seek new learning and improvement opportunities. This commitment to continuous development keeps us relevant, adaptable, and capable of facing the challenges of a constantly changing world. Being responsible is about taking the lead in our own lives. It is recognizing that, although we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond to these circumstances. It is about living intentionally, making conscious decisions, and acting according to our values. This proactive and conscious approach not only empowers us but also inspires those around us to do the same. Therefore, responsibility is more than a quality. It is a daily practice that guides us toward a more integral, authentic, and meaningful life. By embracing responsibility, we become agents of our transformation, capable of positively influencing our lives and those around us. Examples of responsible behavior. Behaving responsibly reflects our character and maturity. It is the small and significant everyday acts that demonstrate our ability to respond to our actions and act according to our values and principles. Let's explore some examples of responsible behavior based on psychological and ethical principles to illustrate how responsibility manifests in practical life. Imagine a colleague who always meets deadlines and commitments. This is a clear example of responsibility in the professional environment. When we commit to something, whether in our personal or professional lives, honoring it shows respect for ourselves and others. Organizational psychology teaches us that reliability is essential for building a good reputation and healthy working relationships. Meeting deadlines, being punctual, and delivering what was promised are ways to show that we are trustworthy and responsible. Another example is the ability to admit mistakes and make amends when necessary. Imagine a leader who, upon realizing an error in an important decision, takes responsibility and works to correct the situation. Leadership studies show that the willingness to admit mistakes and learn from them is a characteristic of effective leaders. This behavior promotes an environment of trust and respect and encourages a culture of transparency and continuous improvement. By admitting our mistakes, we show that we are committed to truth and progress rather than protecting our egos. Financial management is also an area where responsibility stands out. Maintaining a balanced budget, avoiding unnecessary debt, and planning for the future are behaviors that reflect responsible resource management. Behavioral economics research suggests that people who practice responsible financial management tend to experience less stress and more financial security. This improves their quality of life and enables them to contribute more effectively to their families and communities. In interpersonal relationships, responsibility is demonstrated through open and honest communication. When we have a disagreement with someone, addressing the situation calmly and seeking a resolution is an example of emotional responsibility. The theory of nonviolent communication, developed by Marshall Rosenberg, emphasizes the importance of expressing our feelings and needs respectfully and empathetically. This type of communication promotes stronger and healthier relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. Another important aspect is taking care of our physical and mental health. This can include maintaining a balanced diet, exercising regularly, and seeking help when necessary. Public health research shows that taking care of ourselves improves our individual well-being and reduces the burden on healthcare systems and improves community health. When we take responsibility for our well-being, we are better able to contribute positively to society. Practices like recycling, reducing waste, and supporting sustainable companies are ways to demonstrate responsibility towards the planet. Environmental psychology highlights that our individual behaviors have a significant collective impact. Small daily actions like reducing plastic consumption or using public transportation can contribute to a healthier and more sustainable environment for everyone. In the family context, responsibility can be seen in parents who strive to create a safe and loving environment for their children. This includes providing basic needs and dedicating time and attention to children's emotional and educational development. Child development research suggests that parents' presence and active involvement are crucial for children's well-being and future success. Responsible parents recognize the importance of their role and work to be positive role models in all areas of life. In conclusion, responsibility is a daily practice that permeates all areas of our lives. It is about making conscious decisions, being aware of the consequences of our actions, and acting according to our values. Each example, no matter how small, contributes to a more just, sustainable, and compassionate world. By incorporating these behaviors into our daily lives, we improve our own lives and positively influence those around us, creating a wave of responsibility and integrity that can transform society. Self-assessment. Self-assessment is a powerful tool to understand our level of responsibility and identify areas where we can improve. It invites us to look inward with honesty and courage, examining our actions, decisions, and behaviors. Through this introspective process, we can discover how our choices impact our lives and the lives of those around us and learn to act more consciously and responsibly. Let's start with a fundamental question. Am I taking responsibility for my actions? True responsibility begins with accepting that we are the authors of our choices. Instead of blaming external circumstances or other people for our problems, it is crucial to recognize our contribution to the situations we face. Positive psychology, which focuses on developing virtues and strengths, highlights that taking responsibility is essential for personal growth. Reflecting on this question, think about recent situations where you faced challenges. Did you take responsibility or look for someone to blame? This reflection can reveal much about your current level of responsibility. Another important question is, how do I react when I make a mistake? Our response to this situation is a strong indicator of maturity and responsibility. Adopting a defensive stance or hiding our mistakes are signs of an immature approach. Organizational psychology research shows that the ability to admit mistakes and learn from them is characteristic of effective individuals and leaders. Reflect on your past reactions to mistakes. Do you get defensive or seek to learn and correct? Honesty in the self-assessment can be transformative. Am I being responsible in my relationships? Interpersonal relationships are a fertile field for practicing responsibility. This includes being honest, keeping promises, and respecting others' feelings. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby, suggests that emotional responsibility is crucial for building and maintaining healthy relationships. Ask yourself if you are being a reliable partner, friend, or colleague. Is your word trustworthy? Do you respect others' boundaries and feelings? Reflecting on these aspects can illuminate areas where you can be more responsible. Financial responsibility is another crucial area. Ask yourself, am I managing my resources responsibly? Behavioral economics teaches us that prudent resource management improves our financial security and reduces stress and increases overall well-being. Examine your spending habits, savings, and investments. Are you planning for the future or just living for the present? An honest analysis can help adjust behaviors to ensure a more stable financial future. Am I being responsible for my personal and professional development? Commitment to continuous growth is a vital aspect of responsibility. This involves seeking new learning opportunities, enhancing skills, and being open to feedback. Developmental psychology suggests that constant pursuit of personal improvement indicates maturity and adaptability. Evaluate whether you are investing in your development or stagnating. Identify areas where you can seek more knowledge and skills to become a better version of yourself. It is also essential to consider social and environmental responsibility. Ask yourself, am I contributing positively to society and the environment? Environmental psychology highlights that our individual actions have a significant collective impact. Examine your consumption habits, participation in community activities, and environmental awareness. Are you making choices that benefit the common good? Reflecting on these issues can inspire changes that improve your life and society and the planet. Finally, consider your physical and mental health. Am I taking good care of myself? Self-care is a crucial form of responsibility. Public health research shows that healthy habits, such as balanced eating, regular exercise, and mental care, are essential for a full and productive life. Evaluate whether you are prioritizing your health or neglecting it in favor of other demands. This reflection can lead to positive changes that improve your quality of life and your ability to be responsible in other areas. Self-assessment is a continuous and dynamic process. It requires us to be honest with ourselves, recognizing our flaws and celebrating our victories. Every step towards greater responsibility is a step towards a fuller and more meaningful life. Chapter 3: Emotional Management. Understanding emotions. Emotions are the essence of our human experience. coloring our lives with joy, sadness, fear, anger, and a myriad of other feelings. Understanding our emotions is a fundamental step in developing emotional intelligence, a concept popularized by Daniel Goleman, which refers to the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions and the emotions of others. This allows us to navigate the world with more balance, empathy, and resilience. Emotions can be seen as complex responses from our brain to internal and external stimuli. These responses consist of three main components: subjective experience, physiological response, and expressive behavior. When we feel fear, for example, we not only experience an internal sensation of apprehension, but may also feel our heart race and tend to adopt defensive or flight behaviors. Evolutionary psychology suggests that these emotional reactions have developed over millennia to help us survive and thrive. To better understand emotions, it is useful to explore the basic emotions theory proposed by Paul Ekman. Ekman identified 6 basic emotions that are universally recognized: happiness, sadness, fear, anger, surprise, and disgust. These emotions are considered basic because they appear in all cultures and are accompanied by distinct facial expressions. By identifying and naming these emotions, we can begin to understand how they manifest in our daily lives and how they influence our behavior. However, human emotions are much more complex than just these 6 basic categories. The velocirausal theory, for example, suggests that emotions can be mapped in a two-dimensional space based on their valence, positive or negative, and level of arousal, high or low. This helps us understand that emotions like enthusiasm and calm, although both positive, differ in their levels of arousal. Similarly, sadness and anger, although both negative, also vary significantly in terms of intensity and physical response. Understanding emotions also involves recognizing that they are shaped by our experiences and interpretations. The cognitive appraisal theory, developed by Richard Lazarus, proposes that our emotions result from how we evaluate and interpret a situation. If we perceive a situation as a threat, we may feel fear or anger. If we perceive it as a loss, we may feel sadness. This means that by changing our perspective or interpretation of a situation, we can influence the emotion we experience. This understanding is the basis of many cognitive therapies that help people restructure their thoughts to alter their emotional responses. The importance of emotional regulation cannot be underestimated. The ability to effectively manage our emotions is crucial for our psychological well-being. Emotional regulation strategies, such as cognitive reappraisal and suppression, have been widely studied. Cognitive reappraisal involves changing the way we think about a situation to alter its emotional impact. For example, seeing a challenge as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat can reduce fear and increase motivation. Suppression, on the other hand, involves trying to inhibit emotional expression, which can be useful in the short term but may have negative effects if used as a predominant strategy. Another fundamental aspect of emotional management is empathy, the ability to perceive and understand the emotions of others. Empathy allows us to connect with others on a deep level, promoting healthy and collaborative relationships. Neuroscience has shown that specific areas of the brain, such as the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system, are involved in the experience and expression of empathy. Developing empathy requires practice and intention, such as active listening, paying attention to emotional cues, and responding with compassion. Emotions also play a crucial role in decision-making. The somatic marker hypothesis proposed by Antonio Damasio suggests that our decisions are guided by somatic markers, emotional responses based on past experiences that help us evaluate the consequences of our choices. These somatic markers allow us to make quick and effective decisions, based not only on logic but also on emotional intuition. Recognizing and trusting these emotional responses can improve our ability to make decisions that align with our values and goals. Understanding emotions requires curiosity, patience, and a willingness to explore the depths of our emotional experience. By developing greater awareness and understanding of our emotions, we gain the ability to live more fully and authentically. We can respond to life's challenges with resilience and grace, build deeper and more meaningful relationships, and above all, find greater inner peace. By understanding and honoring your emotions, you not only improve your quality of life, but also enrich the lives of those around you. In a world where we are often encouraged to suppress or ignore our emotions, choosing to understand them is a radical act of self-love and true maturity. Techniques for emotional control. Emotions are a natural part of the human experience, but without proper management, they can dominate us and negatively influence our decisions and behaviors. Fortunately, psychology and neuroscience offer a variety of scientifically based techniques to help regulate and control our emotions. These techniques allow us to better cope with stress and adversity, promoting lasting emotional well-being. One of the most effective emotional control techniques is cognitive reappraisal, a strategy that involves changing the way we interpret a situation to alter its emotional response. For example, if you are anxious about a work presentation, you can reappraise the situation by seeing it as an opportunity to showcase your skills and grow professionally, rather than a threat to your reputation. Studies show that cognitive reappraisal can significantly reduce the intensity of negative emotions and promote a greater sense of well-being. This technique is often used in cognitive behavioral therapies, which help individuals reframe negative and irrational thoughts to positively influence their emotions. Deep breathing is another simple yet powerful technique for emotional control. When we are stressed or anxious, our breathing tends to become rapid and shallow, which can exacerbate these emotions. Deep breathing, on the other hand, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps reduce the body's stress response. Try inhaling deeply through your nose, holding your breath for a few seconds, and exhaling slowly through your mouth. Repeating this process several times can induce a sense of calm and clarity, allowing you to better handle challenging situations. Emotional regulation can also be enhanced through regular physical exercise. Physical activity releases endorphins, neurotransmitters that promote a sense of well-being and reduce the perception of pain. Additionally, exercise helps lower cortisol levels, the body's stress hormone. Whether it's a walk outdoors, a yoga session, or an intense workout at the gym, regular exercise can be a valuable tool for keeping your emotions balanced and your mind clear. Social support is another crucial component of emotional control. Connecting with friends, family, or support groups can provide an emotional safety net. Talking about your feelings with someone you trust can not only relieve stress, but also offer new perspectives and solutions to emotional problems. Social psychology research highlights the importance of interpersonal relationships for mental health, showing that individuals with strong support networks are more resilient and less likely to suffer from depression and anxiety. Expressive writing is a therapeutic technique that involves writing about your thoughts and emotions freely and without censorship. Studies show that expressive writing can help process complex and traumatic emotions, reducing emotional burden and promoting mental clarity. Set aside a few minutes each day to write about your experiences and feelings. Don't worry about grammar or style. The goal is to express yourself freely and explore your emotions in depth. Music and other forms of art can also be powerful means of emotional control. Listening to music that resonates with your emotional state can help release repressed feelings and facilitate emotional expression. Music therapy, for example, is an evidence-based practice that uses music to help individuals process emotions and improve mental well-being. Besides music, activities like painting, dancing, or creative writing can serve as emotional outlets, allowing you to explore and express your emotions healthily and constructively. Finally, self-care is an essential practice for emotional control. This involves taking care of yourself in ways that promote your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It can include habits like maintaining a balanced diet, ensuring quality sleep, practicing hobbies you love, and setting aside time to relax and recharge. Self-care is not a selfish act, but a fundamental necessity for maintaining your emotional health. By taking care of yourself, you put yourself in a better position to face life's challenges with strength and resilience. Understanding and applying these emotional control techniques can transform your way of living and interacting with the world. By developing the ability to regulate your emotions, you not only improve your quality of life, but also become a positive influence on everyone around you. Every step you take toward mastering your emotions is a step toward a life of greater clarity and inner peace. Reflection on your reactions. Reflecting on our reactions is an essential step in understanding who we are and how we interact with the world around us. Our emotional and behavioral reactions are not mere automatic responses. They are shaped by our experiences, beliefs, values, and the context we find ourselves in. By reflecting on these reactions, we gain valuable insights into our behavior patterns and can identify areas for growth and change. Reflection begins with self-awareness, a skill that Daniel Goleman highlights as fundamental to emotional intelligence. Being self-aware means being present and attentive to our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors as they occur. Ask yourself, how do I react in stressful situations? What triggers my anger or frustration? By answering these questions, you start mapping your emotional triggers and understanding how and why you react in certain ways. A practical example could be a conflict situation at work. Imagine you feel irritated every time your colleague criticizes your work. Instead of simply accepting this reaction as inevitable, use it as an opportunity for reflection. Ask yourself, why does the criticism bother me so much? Am I interpreting the criticism as a personal attack? Are there past experiences influencing my response? Psychology suggests that many of our reactions are influenced by past experiences and ingrained thought patterns. By identifying these influences, we can begin to deconstruct automatic reactions and replace them with more thoughtful and effective responses. The cognitive appraisal theory, developed by Richard Lazarus, can help understand how we interpret and react to events. According to Lazarus, our emotions result from the evaluation we make of a situation. If we perceive an event as threatening, we may feel fear or anger. If we see it as a loss, we may feel sadness. Reflecting on this theory allows us to question our interpretations and possibly reappraise our perceptions to change our emotional responses. For example, if we reframe constructive criticism as an opportunity for growth rather than an attack, we can respond with gratitude and openness instead of defensiveness. Additionally, reflection involves recognizing repetitive behavior patterns. Do you always react impatiently when things don't go as planned? Or do you tend to avoid confrontations even when it's necessary to stand up for your interests? Identifying these patterns is crucial because they reveal areas where we can improve our emotional control and communication. Behavioral psychology suggests that identifying patterns is the first step toward change, allowing us to develop strategies to alter dysfunctional behaviors. Practicing meditation and mindfulness can be a powerful tool in this reflection process. Meditation helps us cultivate a non-reactive observing mind, allowing us to notice our emotions and thoughts without automatically engaging with them. By practicing mindfulness, we can observe our reactions in real time, gaining a clearer and less influenced perspective by the heat of the moment. Studies show that regular meditation can increase self-awareness and emotional regulation, promoting calmer and more balanced responses to stressful situations. Another useful technique is reflective writing. Keeping a journal where you record your reactions to daily events can provide deep insights into your emotional patterns. Write about a specific situation, describing what happened, how you felt, and how you reacted. Then, analyze what might have triggered your response and explore alternatives for reacting more constructively in the future. Positive psychology research suggests that reflective writing can help organize thoughts, process emotions, and promote personal growth. Feedback from trusted individuals can also be a valuable resource in reflecting on our reactions. Friends, family, or colleagues can offer perspectives you might not have considered. Ask them how they perceive your reactions in certain situations, and be open to hearing their observations without defensiveness. This type of feedback can reveal blind spots and provide opportunities for adjustments and improvements in your behavior. Reflection on your reactions is not about seeking perfection, but cultivating a greater understanding and control over your emotional and behavioral responses. Reflecting on our reactions is not just an intellectual exercise, but a practice of self-compassion and growth. By better understanding our emotions and behaviors, we gain the power to transform them, creating a positive impact on our lives and the lives of those around us. Chapter 4. Healthy Relationships. Characteristics of mature relationships. Mature relationships reflect individuals with a high level of self-awareness and emotional responsibility. These relationships stand out not for the absence of conflicts, but for how partners handle challenges and communicate. The characteristics that define these relationships are based on psychological principles that promote growth, harmony, and mutual satisfaction. Let's explore some of these characteristics and understand how they manifest in daily life. Firstly, effective communication is the backbone. In a healthy relationship, partners feel safe to express their thoughts and feelings openly and honestly. The nonviolent communication theory, developed by Marshall Rosenberg, emphasizes the importance of expressing our needs and emotions without blaming or criticizing the other person. In a mature relationship, partners practice active listening, truly hearing what the other person has to say without interruptions or premature judgments. This creates an environment of trust and mutual respect, essential for joint growth. Another fundamental characteristic is empathy, the ability to put oneself in another's shoes and understand their emotions and perspectives. Neuroscience shows us that empathy involves the activation of specific areas of the brain, such as the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system, responsible for emotional processing. Partners not only intellectually understand each other's feelings, but also emotionally connect with them. This deep emotional connection strengthens the bond and provides consistent emotional support, especially during difficult times. Healthy independence is another hallmark of mature relationships. Each partner maintains their individuality and autonomy, respecting each other's boundaries and interests. The self-determination theory, proposed by Edward Deci and Richard Ryan, suggests that autonomy is crucial for motivation and well-being. In a mature relationship, partners encourage each other's personal and professional growth without fearing the loss of connection. They recognize that a solid foundation of independence strengthens the relationship, allowing each person to bring their best self to the partnership. Constructive conflict resolution is an essential skill. Instead of avoiding conflicts or reacting aggressively, partners in a healthy relationship approach disagreements with a problem-solving mindset. Research in relational psychology indicates that how couples handle conflicts is a strong predictor of the relationship's longevity and satisfaction. Techniques such as negotiation and compromise are often used to find solutions that meet both partners' needs while maintaining respect and fairness. Forgiveness and the ability to let go of the past are equally important. No relationship is free from mistakes and hurts. Understanding that forgiveness is an act of emotional release that benefits both the offender and the offended is crucial. The psychology of forgiveness, explored by researchers like Everett Worthington, suggests that forgiveness promotes mental health and well-being by reducing feelings of bitterness and resentment. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or justifying a mistake, but choosing to move forward and not letting the past define the present or future of the relationship. Trust is the foundation upon which all other characteristics stand. Without trust, it is impossible to build a true and lasting relationship. In mature relationships, partners trust each other implicitly and explicitly. They demonstrate consistency in their actions and words, creating a sense of security and predictability. Trust allows partners to be vulnerable with each other, sharing their fears, hopes, and dreams without fear of judgment or betrayal. Another crucial aspect is reciprocity and balance in the relationship. Mature relationships are equal partnerships where both partners give and receive support, love, and care in a balanced manner. The social exchange theory, developed by John Tiebout and Harold Kelly, suggests that relationships are more satisfying when there is a balance between the benefits received and the efforts invested. In a mature relationship, partners recognize and appreciate each other's contributions, maintaining a healthy balance that strengthens the bond and promotes mutual satisfaction. Lastly, gratitude and appreciation are fundamental, just as in all aspects of life. Regularly expressing gratitude for the small and large things your partner does strengthens the emotional bond and promotes a climate of positivity. Research in positive psychology shows that gratitude is associated with greater satisfaction and longevity in relationships. In a mature relationship, partners do not take each other for granted. They constantly value and express appreciation, which nurtures love and connection. Conflicts and resolutions. Conflicts are an inevitable part of life, especially in interpersonal relationships. Although often seen as negative, conflicts have the potential to promote growth and understanding when managed effectively. How we approach and resolve conflicts is a key indicator of emotional maturity and relational health. Understanding the dynamics of conflicts and learning effective resolution techniques can turn challenges into opportunities to strengthen bonds and promote harmony. First, it is important to recognize that conflicts arise from individual differences in values, beliefs, needs, and perceptions. These differences are not necessarily bad. In fact, they can enrich relationships by bringing new perspectives and creative solutions. The problem arises when these differences are ignored or mismanaged, leading to resentment and misunderstandings. The interdependence theory, proposed by Harold Kelly and John Tiebout, suggests that how individuals perceive their interactions and interdependencies in a relationship can influence how they handle conflicts. An effective approach to resolving conflicts starts with open and honest communication. In many situations, conflicts are exacerbated by a lack of communication or inadequate communication. The nonviolent communication theory, developed by Marshall Rosenberg, offers a useful framework for expressing needs and feelings without blame or criticism. This technique involves four main components: observation, describing objectively what's happening; feeling, expressing how you feel about the situation; need, identifying your needs related to the feelings; and request, making a clear request to meet your needs. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you could say, "When I'm talking and feel like I'm not being heard, I get frustrated because I need understanding." Can we find a way to improve our communication? Empathy plays a crucial role in conflict resolution. Being able to put yourself in the other person's shoes and understand their emotions and perspectives can reduce tension and facilitate a more harmonious resolution. Emotional neuroscience research shows that empathy activates specific areas of the brain associated with social bonding and emotional regulation. In a conflict situation, practicing empathetic listening, truly hearing the other person without interrupting or judging, can disarm defensiveness and pave the way for constructive dialogue. Another effective technique is collaborative negotiation, which seeks mutually beneficial solutions for both parties. Instead of adopting a competitive stance, where one wins and the other loses, collaborative negotiation focuses on finding solutions that meet everyone's needs. Game theory, applied to psychology and relationships, suggests that collaborative strategies tend to produce more satisfying and sustainable results than competitive strategies. This requires a win-win mindset and a willingness to compromise and adapt. For example, if two colleagues disagree on a project's approach, they can discuss their priorities and find a middle ground that leverages both strengths and satisfies common goals. Conflict resolution can also benefit from emotional regulation techniques, such as cognitive reappraisal and mindfulness practice. Cognitive reappraisal involves changing how we interpret a situation to alter its emotional response. For example, instead of seeing a disagreement as a threat to the relationship, we can reframe it as an opportunity to grow and strengthen the connection. Mindfulness practice helps cultivate an attitude of acceptance and non-judgment, allowing us to respond to conflicts more calmly and centered. Studies show that mindfulness meditation can reduce emotional reactivity and increase the ability to cope with stress. Additionally, mediation can be a powerful tool in situations where the involved parties have difficulty resolving the conflict on their own. An impartial mediator can facilitate communication and help find solutions acceptable to all. Mediation has been widely used in legal, business, and family contexts, with research showing its effectiveness in promoting lasting and satisfying resolutions. The mediator's role is to create a safe and structured environment where parties can express their concerns and work together to find a resolution. Finally, forgiveness and reconciliation are crucial elements, especially in close personal relationships. Forgiveness does not mean justifying or forgetting a mistake, but rather releasing resentment and bitterness to promote healing and growth. The psychology of forgiveness, explored by researchers like Everett Worthington, suggests that forgiveness can improve mental and physical health by reducing stress and promoting well-being. Reconciliation involves restoring trust and connection, often requiring ongoing effort from both parties to rebuild the relationship healthily and respectfully. Reflecting on how we handle conflicts can help us develop more effective and healthy skills. Conflicts do not need to be destructive. With the right approach, they can be a driving force for personal and relational growth. By adopting techniques of open communication, empathy, collaborative negotiation, emotional regulation, mediation, and forgiveness, we can turn challenges into opportunities for learning and strengthening. Self-assessment in a relationship. Self-assessment within our relationships is a profound exercise that invites us to look inward and examine how we interact with others, especially those closest to us. This reflection is not just about superficially analyzing what is visible, but also exploring the deeper layers of our interactions, emotions, and motivations. When assessing our relationships, we can start by questioning how we feel in the presence of others. Do we genuinely feel accepted and valued, or is there an underlying tension that hinders authentic connection? Relational psychology research highlights the importance of authenticity and emotional congruence in building healthy relationships. When we feel comfortable being who we truly are, and when we perceive that others accept us in this way, it strengthens bonds and promotes a sense of belonging. It is essential to examine how we contribute to the well-being of our relationships. Are we capable of offering emotional and practical support when needed? Empathy and the ability to put ourselves in others' shoes are qualities that enrich relationships, allowing us to share joys and face challenges together. Social exchange theory in social psychology suggests that balanced relationships, where there is a fair exchange of support and benefits, tend to be more satisfying and long-lasting. Besides how we feel and contribute, we must consider how we handle conflicts and disagreements. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship, but how we face them can determine the relationship's health and longevity. Conflict management theory, explored by researchers like Kenneth Thomas and Ralph Killman, offers strategies for resolving differences constructively, focusing on collaboration and finding solutions that meet both parties' needs. Are we realistic in our expectations of others, or do we expect them to meet an unattainable ideal? Positive psychology suggests that cultivating gratitude and appreciation for others' positive qualities can strengthen emotional bonds and promote an environment of mutual love and understanding. As we explore our interactions with others reflectively and honestly, we can learn more about ourselves and discover areas where we can improve and grow. Chapter 5. Decision-making. A mature decision-making process goes beyond simply choosing between options. It involves a reflective, thoughtful, and informed approach that considers not only immediate consequences but also long-term effects and personal values. Research in psychology and neuroscience reveals that we make decisions based on a complex interplay between emotions, reasoning, and past experiences. The human brain is adaptable and capable of learning from previous successes and failures to make more informed decisions in the future. This process is not only cognitive but also emotional. Our emotions play a crucial role in how we evaluate and assign value to different options. A fundamental aspect of mature decision-making is the ability to consider multiple perspectives and information. This involves actively seeking different viewpoints, consulting experts when necessary, and being open to revising and adjusting our decisions as new information emerges. Decision theory, an interdisciplinary field that combines psychology, economics, and cognitive science, highlights the importance of strategies such as cost-benefit analysis and considering uncertainties when making informed choices. A mature decision-making process is characterized by the ability to manage and regulate our emotions during the process. Emotional intelligence, a concept popularized by Daniel Goleman, suggests that the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, as well as the emotions of others, is fundamental to making effective and ethical decisions. This means we must learn to deal with anxiety, frustration, and indecision that often accompany important decisions. Another essential aspect of maturity in decision-making is personal responsibility. This implies taking responsibility for the consequences of our choices, whether they are positive or negative. The theory of personal responsibility, developed by philosophers and psychologists like Viktor Frankl and Albert Bandura, emphasizes the importance of acting with integrity and taking control of our lives through the decisions we make. Every decision we make not only shapes our present but also influences our future and the lives of those around us. By adopting a reflective, informed, and responsible approach to decision-making, we can not only achieve our personal and professional goals, but also contribute to a more ethical and sustainable world. Here are some examples that can help to better understand how these principles apply in practice. Case Study 1. Career Change Decision. Imagine someone who has been in a stable but unsatisfying career for years. Over time, this person reflects on their interests, values, and personal and professional goals. After extensive research and self-evaluation, they decide to make a significant career change to pursue a previously unexplored passion, such as starting their own business aligned with their values. This process involved considering not only the immediate financial implications but also the potential emotional impact, the development of new skills, and adapting to a different work environment. Case Study 2. Financial Investment Decision. A long-term investor encounters the opportunity to invest in a promising startup. Before making a decision, they conduct a detailed market analysis, consult financial experts, and assess the potential risks and returns. Additionally, they consider their long-term financial goals, risk tolerance, and the possibility of losses. After a careful deliberation process, they decide to invest a portion of their portfolio in a startup based on solid fundamentals and a clear vision of their financial goals. Case Study 3. Relocation Decision. A couple faces the decision to move to a new city due to a promising job offer for one of them. They undergo a decision-making process that involves evaluating career opportunities, the impact on quality of life, proximity to family and friends, and adaptation to new social and cultural conditions. After weighing the pros and cons, they decide to make the move, aware of the challenges and opportunities it will bring to their personal and professional lives. Each of these examples demonstrates different aspects of a mature decision-making process, including critical analysis, consideration of multiple perspectives, emotional management, and responsibility for consequences. These case studies not only illustrate how people can approach important decisions in an informed and conscious manner, but also highlight the importance of adapting to changing circumstances and acting ethically and responsibly at all stages of the decision-making process. Reflection. Reflecting on our decisions is an essential process for personal growth and maturity. Every choice we make, from the most trivial to the most significant, shapes the course of our lives and influences those around us. Reflection allows us to better understand our motivations, evaluate the consequences of our actions, and learn from our experiences. First, it is important to recognize that our decisions are often influenced by a combination of rational and emotional factors. Neuroscience shows that different areas of the brain are involved in decision-making, including the prefrontal cortex, which is associated with reasoning and logic, and the limbic system, which is linked to emotions. When we reflect on our decisions, we can identify when we allowed emotions such as fear, anxiety, or excitement to dominate our logic, and seek a healthier balance between reason and emotion. Every choice generates a series of outcomes that can be immediate or long-term, positive or negative. Evaluating the impact of our decisions helps us understand whether our goals were achieved and whether the consequences aligned with our values and expectations. This analysis can reveal patterns in our decision-making process, such as a tendency to avoid risks or act impulsively, allowing us to adjust our future approaches for more balanced and desirable outcomes. Reflection invites us to consider personal responsibility. We are responsible for the choices we make, and recognizing this is a sign of maturity. When reflecting, we ask, what could I have done differently? Or how did my decisions affect others? These questions promote a sense of responsibility and ethics, encouraging us to act more carefully and considerately in the future. The theory of personal responsibility, developed by psychologists like Viktor Frankl, emphasizes the importance of taking ownership of our actions as a path to growth and self-discovery. The practice of keeping a journal can be a powerful tool. Writing about our choices, the reasons behind them, and the outcomes that followed helps us organize our thoughts and visualize patterns in our behavior. Studies in positive psychology suggest that reflective writing can increase mental clarity, reduce stress, and promote self-awareness. By revisiting old journal entries, we can see our progress and identify areas where we still need to grow. Seeking feedback from trusted individuals is also valuable. Friends, family, or mentors can offer valuable perspectives on how our decisions are perceived and how they affect others. Constructive feedback can highlight blind spots and areas for improvement that we may not be able to identify on our own. This not only improves our future decision-making, but also strengthens our relationships by demonstrating openness and a willingness to grow. Your reflection should also include the evaluation of priorities and values. Ask yourself, do my choices reflect what truly matters to me? Often, we can be swayed by external pressures or social conventions, leading us away from our true desires and goals. Reassessing our decisions in light of our core values helps us realign our actions with our deepest aspirations, promoting a more authentic and fulfilling life. Life is constantly changing, and what works at one moment may not be the best choice in the future. Staying flexible and open to learning from each experience is crucial for continuous growth. Developmental psychology suggests that the ability to adapt and evolve is a key characteristic of emotional and intellectual maturity. Chapter 6: Adaptability and Flexibility. Adaptability is the ability to effectively adjust to new conditions, challenges, and uncertainties. Its importance cannot be overstated in a constantly changing world. This skill is essential not only for survival, but also for personal and professional flourishing. When we reflect on adaptability, we recognize its influence in all areas of our lives, from career to personal relationships, and emotional and mental well-being. Adaptability is often viewed as one of the core competencies in positive psychology, a field that focuses on strengthening human qualities and virtues. Martin Seligman, one of the founders of positive psychology, argues that the ability to adapt to adversity and find opportunities amid changes is a key indicator of resilience. Resilience, in turn, is the ability to recover and grow from challenges and setbacks. Thus, adaptability and resilience go hand in hand, allowing us to face life's uncertainties with courage and creativity. In the professional sphere, adaptability is fundamental to success. The dynamics of the job market change rapidly due to globalization, technological advancements, and economic shifts. Individuals who demonstrate high adaptability are better able to learn new skills, take on new roles, and adjust to organizational changes. Research in organizational psychology shows that adaptable workers have higher job satisfaction, are more productive, and perform better in volatile environments. Companies value this competence because adaptable employees are more likely to innovate and lead change initiatives, contributing to the organization's sustainability and growth. Every stage of life brings new challenges and opportunities, from transitioning from school to the workforce, to starting a family and retiring. Those who can adapt to these transitions tend to experience less stress and greater overall well-being. Transition theory, developed by Schlossberg, suggests that the ability to adapt to life changes is vital for personal and emotional development. By adopting a flexible and open attitude, we can navigate these transitions more easily and find meaning and purpose at each stage of life. Adaptability is a necessary skill in our personal relationships. Each person we meet brings their own baggage of experiences, values, and perspectives. Being able to adjust to these differences is essential for building and maintaining healthy and harmonious relationships. Research in relational psychology indicates that couples and friends who show high adaptability are better able to resolve conflicts, communicate effectively, and support each other in times of change. This strengthens emotional bonds and promotes a sense of security and connection. Life is full of unexpected and challenging events, such as losses, failures, and sudden changes. The ability to adjust emotionally to these situations is essential for maintaining mental health and emotional balance. The stress response theory, proposed by Lazarus and Folkman, highlights that successful adaptation to stressful events involves both cognitive reappraisal and emotional management. Practices such as meditation, self-reflection, and social support can help develop this capacity, allowing us to face adversity with a more balanced and positive perspective. Practically speaking, developing adaptability can involve several strategies. First, cultivating a growth mindset, as suggested by Carol Dweck, encourages us to see challenges as learning opportunities rather than threats. This allows us to approach new situations with curiosity and openness rather than fear and resistance. Second, practicing cognitive flexibility, which involves the ability to change thinking or approach when necessary, can be developed through activities such as puzzles, strategy games, and creative practice. Finally, seeking feedback and being open to constructive criticism can help us adjust our behaviors and strategies effectively, promoting continuous and adaptable growth. The importance of adaptability is clear in all aspects of life. By developing this skill, we not only better prepare ourselves to face the inevitable uncertainties and changes, but also pave the way for a richer and happier life. How to be more flexible. Flexibility is a valuable skill that allows us to adapt to changes, face challenges with resilience, and seize unexpected opportunities. In a constantly changing world, being flexible is not just an advantage but a necessity for personal and professional growth. Developing this skill requires conscious practice and a change in perspective, which can be grounded in psychological theories and research. The first step is to adopt a growth mindset. Psychologist Carol Dweck, in her research on mindset, distinguishes between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Those with a fixed mindset believe their abilities and intelligence are unchangeable, while those with a growth mindset see abilities as developable through effort and learning. To be more flexible, we need to believe that we can grow and change, that each challenge is an opportunity for learning. This allows us to face new situations with curiosity and openness rather than resistance and fear. Practicing cognitive reappraisal can help us change how we interpret a situation to alter its emotional response. For example, if a change at work initially causes stress, reappraising it as an opportunity to learn new skills and grow professionally can transform that negative emotion into a positive one. Cognitive psychology shows that cognitive reappraisal can significantly reduce stress and increase emotional well-being, making us more adaptable to changes. Adopting a feedback-receptive attitude can make us more adaptable and proactive in our personal and professional evolution. Research in organizational psychology suggests that individuals who are open to feedback tend to perform better and have greater job satisfaction, as they are constantly adjusting and improving their approaches based on the information received. Exposure to new experiences and challenges is also fundamental to our development. Diverse experiences such as traveling, learning a new language, or taking up a new hobby can expand our horizons and teach us to deal with uncertainty and change. Developmental psychology highlights that exposure to different environments and cultures can increase our capacity for adaptation and empathy. By seeking new experiences, we challenge our comfort zones and expand our capacity for adaptation. Flexibility also involves the ability to solve problems creatively. Facing a problem with a unique or innovative approach can be an excellent way to practice flexibility. The theory of creative problem-solving suggests that the ability to view a problem from different angles and find alternative solutions is a characteristic of adaptable individuals. Practicing creativity can involve brainstorming, thinking outside the box, or simply allowing yourself to explore ideas without being constrained by judgments or criticisms. Building a support network is crucial. Having people to rely on and seek advice from can provide valuable emotional support and new perspectives in times of change. Research in social psychology indicates that robust support networks are associated with greater resilience and well-being. By cultivating meaningful and diverse relationships, we can feel more secure and empowered to face challenges and adapt to new situations. Deliberate practice is another effective strategy for continuous improvement. As described by Anders Ericsson, deliberate practice involves focusing on specific aspects of skill, receiving immediate feedback, and continuously adjusting your efforts. To improve adaptability and flexibility, this could mean intentionally exposing yourself to new and challenging situations, taking on projects outside your comfort zone, attending innovation workshops, or seeking experiences in multicultural environments. Deliberate practice allows you to develop resilience and agility when facing changes and uncertainties. Adaptability and flexibility can also be enhanced through continuous learning. This can involve seeking new skills and knowledge, whether through formal courses, self-directed learning, or practical experiences. Continuous learning keeps your mind open and receptive to new ideas and approaches, increasing your ability to adjust to changes and innovate in your personal and professional life. Finally, practicing self-compassion is essential. Being flexible does not mean being immune to mistakes or failures, but rather being able to learn and grow from them. Self-compassion, as studied by Kristen Neff, involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you offer to others in times of difficulty. This allows us to face our challenges with courage and resilience without excessive self-blame or criticism. By practicing self-compassion, we can recover more quickly from setbacks and continue to move forward with flexibility and determination. Chapter 7: Resilience. Resilience is a deeply admirable and necessary human quality, especially in a world filled with challenges and uncertainties. Defining resilience goes beyond merely describing the ability to bounce back from adversity. It involves understanding the complexity of how individuals face, overcome, and even thrive after difficult experiences. Resilience is the ability not only to withstand pressure, but also to find ways to grow and strengthen through difficulties. Psychology defines resilience as a dynamic process where internal and external factors interact to enable a person to adapt positively to adverse contexts. It encompasses not just the ability to recover, but also the flexible adaptation to new realities. Emmy Werner's research, one of the pioneers in the study of resilience, showed that children exposed to high-risk environments could still develop healthily and successfully. Werner identified protective factors such as having a caring caregiver, a sense of purpose, and a positive outlook on the future as crucial for developing resilience. Neuroscience also contributes to our understanding, showing that our brain is adaptable and capable of change throughout life, a concept known as neuroplasticity. Studies indicate that practices such as mindfulness meditation, regular physical exercise, and adequate sleep can promote resilience by strengthening neural networks associated with emotional regulation and positive thinking. By taking care of our brain and body, we increase our ability to face and overcome challenges. Emotionally, resilience involves the ability to manage and regulate our emotions in the face of stress and adversity. Daniel Goleman, in his work on emotional intelligence, highlights that resilient individuals can remain calm under pressure, recognize and express their emotions healthily, and seek support when necessary. This emotional regulation is essential to avoid burnout and to maintain a positive mindset even in difficult times. Resilience is also closely linked to the concept of purpose and meaning. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, argued in his book Man's Search for Meaning that finding a greater purpose in life is crucial for resilience. Frankl observed that those who could identify meaning or purpose, even amid suffering, were more capable of persevering and finding the strength to continue. Having clear goals and a sense of direction helps us navigate life's storms with determination and hope. Social support is another essential pillar. Research in social psychology indicates that the presence of supportive relationships, whether with friends, family, or communities, can provide the comfort and assistance needed to overcome crises. Healthy and supportive relationships act as an emotional safety net, allowing individuals to feel connected and understood, which in turn strengthens their resilience. Facing adversity often requires us to react in new and innovative ways. Carol Dweck, in her research on growth mindset, suggests that seeing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than insurmountable obstacles, is a key characteristic of resilient individuals. Adopting a growth mindset allows us to approach difficulties with curiosity and courage, always seeking ways to improve and learn from our experiences. Moreover, self-compassion plays a significant role in building resilience. Kristen Neff, a pioneer in this field, highlights that treating oneself with kindness and understanding during tough times, instead of harsh self-criticism, promotes emotional recovery and resilience. Self-compassion allows us to recognize our flaws and imperfections without feeling defeated by them, creating mental space for healing and growth. Resilience is not an innate trait, but a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time. It involves a combination of emotional, cognitive, and social factors, all interconnected in a dynamic process of adaptation and growth. By cultivating resilience, we not only prepare ourselves to face life's inevitable challenges, but also learn to see adversity as opportunities for transformation and strengthening. Reflecting on the challenges we have overcome in life is an enriching practice that can strengthen our resilience and provide a more positive and empowered perspective of ourselves. Challenges, often perceived as obstacles, can be viewed as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. When we look back and consider the difficulties we have faced and overcome, we can learn valuable lessons and cultivate a sense of pride and accomplishment. Each challenge overcome is proof of our ability to adapt and be resilient. Think of a specific moment when you faced significant adversity. It could have been a personal crisis, a health problem, a work difficulty, or an emotional challenge. Ask yourself, how did I handle that situation? What strategies did I use to overcome this challenge? What did I learn about myself in the process? Positive psychology suggests that reflecting on our achievements helps build a narrative of strength and competence, reinforcing our self-confidence and our ability to face future challenges. An important aspect of reflection is recognizing and celebrating our victories, both big and small. We are often quick to criticize ourselves for our failures, but reluctant to acknowledge our successes. Celebrating our achievements is not an act of vanity, but of self-compassion and recognition of our effort and growth. Research in positive psychology shows that celebrating our accomplishments increases our self-esteem and motivates us to continue pursuing our goals with determination and enthusiasm. Furthermore, reflecting on the challenges overcome allows us to identify effective behavior patterns and strategies. For example, you may realize that during crises, practicing mindfulness or seeking social support was crucial for your recovery. Identifying these strategies can help create a personal resilience manual that can be applied to future challenges. This continuous self-assessment practice, as discussed in David Kolb's experiential learning theory, promotes a cycle of learning and continuous improvement. It is also important to recognize the role of the people around us. Who was by your side during those difficult times? How did the support of friends, family, or colleagues contribute to your overcoming? Appreciating and valuing these connections strengthens our relationships and reminds us that we are not alone in our journeys. Social psychology highlights that social support is one of the most important factors for resilience and well-being, providing an emotional and practical safety net. Resilience is built not only by facing and overcoming adversity, but also by learning to adapt and grow with each experience. Reflecting on the challenges overcome teaches us that we are capable of adapting to changes, developing new skills, and finding strengths we may not have known we had. This awareness better prepares us for future difficulties, knowing that, regardless of what comes, we have the ability to face and overcome. Being thankful for the lessons learned, the strengths discovered, and the opportunities for growth allows us to see adversity in a different light. Instead of being just moments of pain and difficulty, challenges become milestones in our journey of self-discovery and personal growth. As you look back and see all that you have achieved, allow yourself to feel pride and gratitude. Use these lessons to strengthen your confidence and your ability to face future challenges with courage and determination. Each challenge overcome is a testament to your ability to adapt and grow, and each reflection is an opportunity to learn and evolve. In this book, we explore a variety of interconnected themes that are essential for personal and emotional development, promoting continuous growth and a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Let's review these key concepts reflectively and impactfully. We began with the definition of maturity, which goes beyond chronological age and manifests in the ability to handle emotions, take on responsibilities, and maintain healthy relationships. Maturity involves a deep self-awareness, recognizing our strengths and weaknesses, and continuously working to improve. This self-awareness is the foundation for all other areas of personal growth. Self-awareness was one of the pillars explored, highlighting its importance for a balanced and authentic life. Self-awareness allows us to understand our motivations, emotions, and behavior patterns, facilitating decision-making aligned with our values and goals. This self-awareness is fundamental to developing emotional maturity and resilience. We discuss the importance of responsibility, which involves taking ownership of our actions and their consequences. Being responsible means not only fulfilling our obligations, but also recognizing our mistakes and learning from them. Personal responsibility is crucial for integrity and building a life based on ethical values. We explore the characteristics of mature relationships, including effective communication, empathy, healthy independence, constructive conflict resolution, forgiveness, and trust. Mature relationships are grounded in mutual respect and the ability of each individual to maintain their identity while supporting each other's growth. Emotional management was another central theme, where we discussed the importance of understanding and regulating our emotions. Techniques such as cognitive reappraisal, mindfulness practice, and seeking social support are essential for maintaining emotional health and facing adversity with resilience. We reflected on mature decision-making processes, which involve considering multiple perspectives, managing emotions during the process, and taking responsibility for the consequences of the choices made. A mature decision-making process is informed, balanced, and ethical, promoting long-term well-being. Adaptability and flexibility were highlighted as crucial skills in a constantly changing world. Being flexible allows us to adjust to new conditions, face challenges with resilience, and seize unexpected opportunities. Developing these skills involves practices of cognitive reappraisal, exposure to new experiences, and continuous learning. We emphasize the importance of resilience, defined as the ability to face adversity, overcome obstacles, and emerge stronger from difficult experiences. Exercises to strengthen resilience, such as practicing gratitude, cognitive reappraisal, mindfulness, and building a support network, are essential for maintaining mental and emotional health. Reflecting on challenges overcome was an important theme, where we recognize and celebrate our victories, learn from our experiences, and develop a narrative of strength and competence. This reflection helps us see adversities as opportunities for growth and build greater self-confidence. Finally, we address self-assessment and continuous improvement, which are fundamental processes for personal development. Self-assessment allows us to identify areas for improvement, while the practice of continuous improvement encourages us to constantly seek growth and evolution. Recapping these concepts helps us see how they are interconnected and the importance of applying them in our daily lives. Maturity, responsibility, emotional management, adaptability, resilience, and self-assessment are elements that reinforce each other, creating a solid foundation for a fulfilling and meaningful life. May this review inspire you to continue your journey of self-discovery and growth, using these concepts as guides to face challenges, achieve your goals, and live with purpose and integrity. #continuity. Continuing to grow in maturity is an ongoing journey that involves introspection, learning, and the conscious practice of emotional and behavioral skills. Maturity is not a final destination, but a dynamic process of personal evolution. As we navigate through the different phases of life, we are invited to adapt, learn, and continuously improve. Let's explore how we can continue to grow in maturity in a reflective and scientifically grounded manner. To grow in maturity, it is essential to maintain an attitude of continuous learning. Adopting a growth mindset allows us to approach each experience, positive or negative, with a perspective that we can learn something new and valuable. Regularly ask yourself, what can this situation teach me? Or how can I use this experience to grow? Set aside time regularly to reflect on your actions, decisions, and interactions. Honest and frequent self-examination helps us identify behavior patterns that may be hindering our growth and offers insights into how we can improve. Tools like reflection journals or coaching sessions can be extremely helpful in this process. Positive psychology suggests that self-assessment helps us stay aligned with our values and goals, promoting a sense of integrity and authenticity. Developing empathy is another vital component for growing in maturity. Being able to understand and share the feelings of others helps us build stronger and more meaningful relationships. Neuroscience shows that empathy activates specific areas of the brain associated with social connection and emotional regulation. Practice active listening and full presence in your daily interactions, striving to see situations from others' perspectives. Ask yourself, how would I feel if I were in this person's position? This simple exercise can significantly increase your capacity for empathy and compassion. Life is full of ups and downs, and our ability to recover from adversity is fundamental to our personal development. Practices such as cognitive reappraisal, which involves changing how we interpret stressful events, and mindfulness meditation can strengthen our resilience. Studies show that these practices help regulate our emotions and reduce the impact of stress. Face challenges with an attitude of acceptance and curiosity, asking yourself, how can I grow from this experience? Moreover, building a solid support network is indispensable. Having people you can trust and share your experiences and emotions with provides emotional support and new perspectives. Social psychology highlights that strong social connections are a critical factor for well-being and resilience. Invest time and energy in cultivating meaningful relationships, whether with friends, family, or colleagues. Participating in community or interest groups can also expand your support network and provide a sense of belonging. Expressing gratitude helps us focus on what is positive in our lives and develop an attitude of appreciation and contentment. Research in positive psychology shows that regularly expressing gratitude can increase our life satisfaction and emotional well-being. Take a moment each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for, including people, experiences, or achievements. The pursuit of balance between personal and professional life is another crucial area for growing in maturity. Find ways to manage your time and energy so that you can meet your responsibilities without sacrificing your well-being. Self-care practices such as physical exercise, relaxing hobbies, and leisure moments are fundamental to maintaining physical and mental health. Remember that taking care of yourself is not a selfish act but a necessity so that you can be present and available for others. Treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially in times of failure or difficulty, promotes an internal environment of acceptance and support. Self-compassion helps us better handle challenges and maintain a sense of self-worth regardless of external circumstances. When facing difficulties, ask yourself, how would I treat a friend going through this? And offer yourself the same kindness. One last word. The journey to maturity is a continuous voyage of self-discovery, growth, and transformation. Every step you take, every challenge you face, every victory you celebrate is a testament to your ability to evolve and become the best version of yourself. Remember that maturity is not a final destination but a dynamic and vibrant process that enriches your life and connects you deeply with the world around you. Within you lies incredible strength, unbreakable resilience, and an infinite capacity to learn and grow. Every difficulty you overcome, every fear you confront, and every mistake you learn from are bricks that build the foundation of a strong character and a meaningful life. Believe in the transformative power of your experiences and trust that with each step, you're moving toward a more mature, conscious, and fulfilled self. Embrace change with courage and curiosity. See each new challenge as an opportunity for growth, and every moment of doubt as an invitation for self-compassion. Cultivate gratitude for all you have already achieved and use that energy to fuel your future aspirations. Allow yourself to dream big and work tirelessly to make those dreams a reality. Remember that you are not alone on this journey. Surround yourself with people who support you, inspire you, and share your vision of a life rich in purpose and authenticity. Cultivate meaningful relationships and be willing to offer the same support and inspiration that you seek. Together, you can face any obstacle and celebrate every victory. Your journey to maturity is unique and valuable. Each step you take reflects your commitment to growth and excellence. Keep moving forward with determination and passion, knowing that you are building a life of depth, resilience, and joy. Let this final message be a beacon of inspiration, guiding you toward a bright future filled with infinite possibilities. You are capable. You are strong. And most importantly, you are on the right path to an extraordinary life. Continue to grow, learn, and transform. The best of you is yet to come.